So today I'm going to be cooking the nutty ginger slices. You'll find them in my yearbook too, and also the recipe below on the Earle Wellbeing website. I love it because it's like a really healthy flapjack, and it's so easy to make because you just pop everything into one bowl and then shove it in the oven and cook it. And this is what it's going to look like. Whoa. So really easy. It's a base of oats, so it's a bit like a healthy flapjack. And I'm going to use here 150 grams of oats. If you can get organic oats, so much the better. And then you're going to add in nuts and dried fruits and some spices as well to make it really very kind of seasonal. It's quite warming, it's quite spicy. I'm using ginger, I'm using cinnamon, really delicious, just warming, nourishing spices. So I'm going to use, first of all, some hazelnuts, and I've got in here, this is 50 grams of chopped hazelnuts. But I'm going to keep a little bit back just to sprinkle over the top at the end. And then I'm also going to use the same amount, 50 grams of almonds. And I'm just going to give these a little bit of a chop. I like using the almonds with the skins. You get more of the prebiotic fibre if you use them with the skins. And they also give delicious crunch to the recipe, as well as being a good source of protein and a good source of vitamin E as well. So they're one of my favourite ingredients. So again, I'll keep just some of those back to sprinkle on the top. Put those with the hazelnuts. So I'm going to put the oats, hazelnuts and almonds. That all goes in there together. Then I've got 2 teaspoons of baking powder, which I've already put in the oats. And I'm going to add the dried fruit. So I've got cranberries. You could use raisins if you don't have cranberries. That's 50 grams. Cranberries are nice because they add a little bit of a tang. So they're just a really, you can see the lovely pinky colour. They're just a really nice ingredient, I think, to add to flapjacks and things. And then I'm also going to add some chopped dates. I've got basically just 5 dates. Okay, if you can get medjool dates, then so much the better. They're the really big, fat, sweet, juicy ones. So you just want to chop these relatively finely because that's going to give the sort of chewy texture into the tray bake. So chop those up like that. And then also what you're going to use here to kind of bind the whole thing together is either coconut oil or butter, depending on your preference. And I've got some here which I've combined with just a little bit of honey, and I'm going to melt the two together. So I've got in here just a mixture. I'm going to use coconut oil for this one. I've got 2 tablespoons of honey, and I have got 70 grams of the coconut oil, or you could have 70 grams of butter. So I'm going to pop that over here just to melt. It won't take long because the coconut oil, you can see, is already really soft. So you just want to mix that together just to get it to a runny consistency so that it can be used to bind the oats and the fruits and the chopped nuts together. So I'll leave that just for 1 second, mustn't let it burn. And then one of the other really good ingredients for this is using a chunk of fresh ginger and grating that directly into the bowl. Now you're going to use probably about 2 centimetres worth of ginger. So let me just check it's nearly melted already actually. So just another few seconds on there where I grate the ginger. So I'm just going to grate it straight into the mixture. And I just grate the whole thing. This is a washed piece of ginger root, so just grating the whole thing. Skin and all, bit of extra prebiotic fibre. Oh, it smells so good, a real lovely gingery taste. If you like ginger, you can add more. You don't have to limit it to a small chunk. You could use a big chunk if you like. So I'll just scoop the rest of that in there. And then I'm going to add my melted, you see it's completely runny now, it doesn't take much, coconut oil with the honey, or again you could use butter and honey if you prefer. So I'll pop that into the mixture and then add your spices, and I'm going to use cinnamon and also a little bit of extra ground ginger just to give it a depth of flavour. So sprinkling of the ground ginger, and then I think the recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. I actually like to add a little bit more because I like mine quite spicy. I just think cinnamon is just such a great addition to recipes like this. Oh, the smell that just comes up, it's so good. It really is good. Now, the other thing that you can add into here are pecan nuts. You can keep them just a sprinkle on the top if you like, or you can add them directly into your mixture. I'm going to do a bit of both. So I've got 50 grams of pecans here, and I'm just going to roughly chop some of them to add in. This is going to give you so much fibre, and it's really sustaining. So when you finish baking this, you can just cut it into really small pieces, and it's a great addition for lunch boxes, packed lunches, picnics. If you're out traveling, need something to keep you going, really good. Kids like it too. So mix that all in together like that, and then I'm going to pop the whole thing into a baking tray, and I've lined this one with some baking parchment just to make it easier to clean the dish afterwards, or the tray rather. So pop that in there and then just press it down really well. Okay, once you've got it in the tray, you just want to push it into the corners and press it down so it all sticks together. And then you're going to put this into a medium oven. So you're really looking at 190 degrees centigrade. I think that's 375 from memory. Yeah, 375 Fahrenheit or gas mark 5. Keep an eye on it. You don't want it to catch, you don't want it to burn, but it should take about 20 to 30 minutes. So not long at all. Patting that all down, and then just on the top I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of extra honey, just because, and because it caramelizes really nicely, so it just gives you a little bit of extra. Let's take the runny honey off the top. Whoops. You could also use a little bit of maple syrup if you wanted for sweetness, or agave, or nothing. You don't have to, it's up to you if you want to pop some on the top. And then I've got some of the leftover nuts here. I've got the whole pecans, which I can just place on there just to make it look nice. And then the leftover chopped hazelnuts and almonds. There, doesn't that look good? So I'm going to pop that into the oven. That's how it looks now. Pop that in. I'm using an Arga. If you've got an Arga, just pop it into the baking oven, otherwise the oven settings, as I said. And then in 20 or 30 minutes time, you're going to pull it out, and voila, there you have the most delicious ginger nutty slices, all ready to sustain you and keep you going for the days ahead. Enjoy.